Alright. What's up mga chimek? Hopefully you are doing well after the Typhoon Bising, no? Hopefully your house and your family members is safe, no? And yan, I've noticed that a very few had watched the video on naming alkanes. No, I understand that because again of the series of power interruption brought to us by our power provider, no? Maybe because of the storm. And tomorrow we'll still have our power interruption. So if you have time, no, either tomorrow or on Thursday, just anytime before our sync session, I suggest you watch the videos on alkanes, introduction to carbons, and the sync sessions that we had last time, especially the rules in naming alkanes. Alright, so for this particular session, we are to have some practice problems in naming alkenes. Now, alkenes is our second type of hydrocarbon. Now, we've compared alkanes and alkenes in our previous discussions. So, today, sige, mag-next slide ka. It's not working. Sige, yan, I've skipped so much. So, yan, today, no, at the end of the session, we are expecting that you, and me, of course, I'm a learner. No, the learners, I don't prefer using students, are expected to name alkenes. Now, some examples of alkene compounds. So, without further ado, let's get it on. Alright. So, here we go for our first example. Now, as we proceed in our series of practice problems, I suggest that you pause the video and look at the handsomeness of Sir Jello. Charot. Pause the video and then try to write it in your pen and paper, no, if you have any, or even in your notepad or paint, no, whatever writing material do you have, no, either digital or an actual pen and paper. Sige, pause the video. Alright, hopefully you've paused the video and you tried naming it. If not, no, you still have time to pause this video. But if you find difficulty in naming this, so let's recall, no, how do we name an alkane? So this is not yet an alkene. But again, as I started my discussion on alkane, I said that alkanes will be the foundation for most of the rules that we'll be using in hydrocarbons and eventually in our functional groups. So first things first, when we're determining the name of a certain alkane compound, this is a skeletal structure as per discussed, we try to find the longest chain. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully you can follow. So my longest chain contains 7 carbon compounds. So either I go from left going up or left going to the right. But before I do that, I now know that I should make my substituents, no, my side chains, my attachments, my branches be the to have, no, the lowest possible numbers as possible. So if I start from left to right, no, that means my first substituent would be at 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's too large as compared to starting from right to left, 1, 2. I'll only get 2. And again, bakit natin ito ginagawa? These are 3-dimensional objects. No? If I take it from this PowerPoint, tas nandito na siya, kung nakikita nyo, if I flip it, that's still the same thing. If I invert it, or if I turn it this side, that's still the same thing. So I can start wherever I want. So I start from right to left to make my substituent have the lowest possible numbers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I have my mother chain. I could write the name already. That's a heptane. Bakit heptane? I have 7 carbon. That's hept. And I have an alkane because all are single bonded. So we have A and E for my suffix. Then I go for my attachments. I have a methyl on 2. I have another methyl on 4. So you can write this separately. Say, for instance, I write 2-methyl, 4-methyl. Then I have a bromine attachment on my third. But if you've mastered this already, no need to write every single thing. Just combine them, and by the rule, we follow and we arrange them alphabetically. So Br comes first, then M. So I'll start with bromo. So that becomes 3-bromo. And then hyphen separates letters from numbers. So 3-bromo, I have 2 and 4. So I'll write both numbers, 2 and 4. To avoid ambiguity, I'll write di because I have 2-methyl. Despite having 2 and 4 already, meaning I have 2 locations of my methyl, I'll still need to use a prefix. May nagtanong kasi last time, Sir, bakit kailangan na palagyan ng di, may 2,4 na naman. Just to avoid the ambiguity. So that's 3-bromo, 2,4-dimethyl heptane. And if you got this right, then you've mastered the rules in naming alkanes. Very good ka dyan, Kachimek. Let's have alkene examples. So again, pause the video and try to answer this particular problem. Sige, hopefully you've paused the video. So in a structure like this one, there is a double bond. And when there is a double bond, we know that it should end in ene, because it's an alkene. It's an unsaturated hydrocarbon. However, we have 2 double bonds here. And as per the rule says, we make sure that the double bond will be at the lowest number possible. So if I count from left to right, that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We trace the first carbon where it's connected, so that would be 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Let's try going from right to left. So if I count, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it doesn't really matter if I start left to right or right to left, I'll get the same name. Again, sabi ko nga, this thing is actually the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sobra as this thing. Sorry, na-delete lahat. So again, if you invert it, it will be the same thing. So I can start left to right or right to left. Sige, start naman tayo sa right. So if I start at right, I'll get 2. That's the first carbon double bond, So 2 and then 4. So that would be 2. I have to locate, I have to place the location of my double bonds. So that would be 2, 4. And since I have 6, total of 6 carbon, that's hexene, However, I have 2 double bonds. So, eto na, yung crucial part, I will place hexa first and then the prefix di to indicate that I have 2 double bonds. 2,4-hexadiene. And again, this is one way of writing the name of alkenes. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, in our previous discussions, this one can be rewritten in another form. Some uses this form as their name. So hexa 2,4-diene. So that, I'm sorry for the comma, it's not comma, it's a hyphen. So that the purpose of this way, the number would not be as far to what it is telling. Because sometimes, diba, we use, in our previous example, we use 2, 4, or 2 numbers to indicate substituents. Pwede kasing malito, maybe this one is for attachment, tapos nalagay mo siya for double bond. So, para hindi daw malito, we enclose them into the place where they really belong, such as an alkene compound having 2 double bonds, so hexa 2,4-diene. But again, both names are acceptable. So, depende na lang sa instruction sa exam kung anong hihingin. I'm not sure if alin dito yung tinuturo din ng ibang teachers natin sa chemistry. So, to be uniform, I shall be telling you kapag magsasummative na tayo kung alin yung gagamitin, or even no, as early as our quizzes. No, I have to ask them if what will we follow for uniformity purposes. But again, both are accepted. And if you get either of this answer, again, good job. 2 thumbs up, Kachimek. So for the third example, pause the video and name it. Sige, hopefully, you got the correct answer, no? Or you've at least tried solving this one. If you find difficulty, again, we prioritize bond over attachment. So, maghanap ka ng someone that you can bond with, make the bond stronger rather than the attachment. So, bond muna before attachment. So, make sure, ignore mo muna para hindi ka malito, ignore mo muna si attachment. So, if I start from left to right, by the way, find the longest chain. No, that's given. So, this is my longest chain. I start from left to right. That would give me 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. If I start from right to left, that will be 1, so imaginary 1, 2, and 3. That's the same thing. Now, if there is no chlorine attachment here, I could go either way. However, now there is an attachment. Therefore, I should be required to start from left to right since the double bond is equidistant in either side. Now, take note of that. Now, again, if there is no chlorine here, I could start from right to left or left to right. It doesn't matter. However, since there is an attachment closer to the terminal carbon on the left side, meaning the end carbon on the left side, I should go first, no, from left to right. So, again, prioritize the bond, and if the bond are equal, then I look for an attachment. If there's no attachment, then I can go either way. If there is attachment, I make sure that the attachment has the lowest possible number. That's why alkane, no, mga kachimek, is very important. Sige. So to name, I have 6. Therefore, that is ENE, no? Because I have a double bond. 6, that's a heptene. So I don't need to write di here because I only have 1 double bond. So I can, a hex rather. So kapag X, 6, my hex. So hexene. So that's an hexene. 6 carbon, double bond, so hexene. And I have a chloro on my second carbon. Therefore, I'll have 2 chloro hexene. Now, and if you get this, congratulations once again. May 3 thumbs up ka na. No, paano yun? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Charot. So, that's 2 chlorohexene. For our next example, pause the video once again and try to name this. Sige. Sa mga hindi nagpo-pause, okay lang yan, no? As long as you are learning. Sa mga nagpo-pause naman and trying, no, if you get the wrong answer, that's fine, no? At least, you get to know where did you went wrong, no? Or what mistake you get, no? We learn from the mistake, no, that we acquire. And sa mga nakakuha naman, no, you're ready to be a chimek, no, a full-fledged chimek. Sige. In here, we prioritize again the bond over attachment. So obviously, I'll start my journey from right to left. But again, pwede mo pambilangin 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is my longest chain. Sometimes it is very obvious, no, where we start, where should we start. So no need to try everything. So ginawa ko lang yun nung una para makita ng lahat that a carbon compound straight chain is not always straight, no? As long as it's not the longest chain, I could go the other way around. I could go up, I could go down. So that in this case, I have 7. So this is, and I have 1 double bond. Sorry. No, my mistake a while ago. Thank you for those whoever noticed this one. This one is wrong. So maybe you've wondered. Even I myself, no, I'm a learner. So I forgot. No, though I know the rule, I forgot to write the location of my double bond. Sige. So I should have placed where my double bond is located. So that's 2 chloro, 3 hexene. So this is the first way of writing it, or I should write 2-chloro. I can write rather 2-chloro hex 3-in. The palaman way of writing it. So again, both are acceptable. Sige. So sinadya ko talaga mamali, no, para maging critical kayo, no, that you're not following. At sa mga naniwala na ito yung tama, na is a prank. Charot lang, no, I forgot. Again, I'm a learner too. So dito, properly located naman siya. So dito lang nalito ako. So I thought it was as simple as 2-chlorohexene. Bakit hindi ito acceptable? Because if I will be rewriting this in a skeletal form, which we are going to do in our synchronous session, 2-chlorohexene would be interpreted like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So imagine these are all straight lines. I have double bond here and I have a chloro here. So that would be 2-chlorohexene. And my hexene is at number 1. That's why I didn't place 1. Which is not the same as this compound. Now, that's why this will not be accepted. These two are correct. So, very good. So, I locate where the... Pinuri ko yung sarili ko. Very good. Very good sa mga nakapansin. So, here, pause the video. Pinapause ko na kayo. So, here, the location is at the second carbon. And it's heptene. So, I can write 2-heptene or I can write hep2-in. So, let's stick to one way of naming muna para hindi tayo nalilito. Hep2-in or heptene. 2-heptene. Sige. And then, I have an attachment here. A methyl on the third group. Another methyl on the fifth group. And an ethyl on the fourth group. Ano to? Ay, nakagamit yung loom pala to ng kapatid ko. Pindot ako, sorry. So, that's 4-ethyl and 2,5-dimethyl. Hopefully, you can follow na even I'm not writing it anymore. Sige. Now, many of you are confused. Sir, are we going to use the prefixes? Sabi ko, di, tri, tetra, etc. are not included in arrangement. So, si iso lang ang included, which we are not yet using. So, totally, hindi pa naman kasali ang prefixes in alphabetizing. So, that would be, first, of course, before M. No? Though it's di, which is D, we focus on M of methyl. So, this becomes 4-ethyl, 4-ethyl, and then I have 2,5. So again, be careful of writing. Hyphen separates number from letters, and then comma separate numbers. So I have no more space. So dito sa baba ko na lang isulat. So 4-ethyl 2,5 di. Don't forget the prefix di. Methyl. So, dimethyl hep2-in. Or again, pwede naman tong 4-ethyl 2,5-dimethyl 2-heptene. So, either of the two way is accepted. No? Is acceptable. Alright? Hopefully, you get the correct answer in this particular problem. No? And even without realizing it, no, we are making it more complicated as we go. And you're still being able to name it. No? Good job. Kachimek. No? Gumagaling ka na. Now, how about combination of multiple bonds and multiple attachment? Pause the video and then try. Sige, longest chain would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. Now, again, make sure that the bond, double bond has the lowest possible number. So, if I go from left to right, that would give me 1, 2, 2, and 3, 4. 2 and 4. If I go from right to left, that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, we prioritize bond over attachment. We make sure that the bond, just like our attachments in alkanes, have the least possible numbers. So that is 1 and 3. Now, in this case, I have to write 1 because I have multiple double bonds, no? Specifically 2 double bonds. So I'll be writing pent 1 3 diene. No, ito yung nakalimutan minsan, no? In na lang yung nasusulat. Hindi na isusulat yung die. So sorry, ayan, hindi na isama ang convert. So pent 1 3 diene. That's my longest chain, no, and my mother chain. And I have a methyl on my third and another methyl on my fourth. Therefore, that would be simply 3,4 dimethyl so 3,4 dimethyl pent 1 3 diene. Alright? I'm dying to see you, mala. Charot. 3,4 dimethyl pent 1 3 diene, or again 3,4 dimethyl 1 3 pentadiene. Penta pala, sorry. Pentadiene. Now, when we have a prefix, now we retain the prefix of our number of carbons with A, like hexa. Hexadiene, we don't say hexdiene. We don't say hepdiene, but rather heptadiene. Right? Sige, hopefully you get this correct answer. Last example. Paano kapag ganito? Okay, pause the video and try to name it. Alright, now your mind has probably told you this is the longest chain. Now, if you're paying attention, in my previous videos, I said that whenever there's a double bond, we make sure that our double bond is always included in the mother chain. No? We prioritize it. So either I could go from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter since it's in the middle. So I can start here. So I prioritize the double bond. So I'll start where the double bond is. Therefore, the seemingly mother chain, the straight chain above, is not really the main chain, no, but rather a branch. No, hindi kasi tayo nasanay na may tatlong carbon. No? 1, 2, 3. We've been used to methyl and ethyl. And kapag may tatlong carbon, 3 tries, 1, 2, 3, you'll become a pro. No, that's a propane. However, it's an attachment, so it's a propyl. So it becomes a propyl on the second. So that's a 2 propyl. And then I can write 1, no, pentene. But since it's in the first carbon and there's no other double bond, I can simply write pentene. So again, if you're a proper chemist, eto na lang yung pangalan, 2-propyl pentene, no? Hindi na gagawing 2-propyl 1-pentene or 2-propyl pent 1-in because it's in the first. No? And no matter what you do with this one, no, if you draw it in its form, you'll get a very, very exact or very the same carbon structure. Alright? Now, again, double bond are always included with the longest chain or mother chain. If you're still confused with these practice problems, no, I suggest you go back to our previous videos, or if it's not helping, no, you watch a lot of videos in YouTube, no, or even read our handouts. Although I'm getting the handouts from the course pack of K-12. So yan, and I'm trying to interpret it in such a way that it could be as student-friendly as possible. So hopefully with the examples given, no, you get to learn how to name alkenes. And we're down to finally alkynes and our cyclic. No, alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes are our cyclic, our aromatics. And again, it's just a bit of a tweak or an addition to the rule, but they are all very, very similar. Okay? To check comprehension, I'll be leaving you these 3 tasks for tomorrow. No? But since there's a power interruption on tomorrow, Wednesday, you can do this on Thursday. No? So this will be due on Thursday, 5 p.m. So, 3 tasks lang naman. And if you watch the video, these 3 are pieces of cake. Sige, maraming salamat mga kachimek. This has been Sir Jalo. Thank you. If you have question, again, don't forget to email me, no, send me a message, and we'll talk about it. Peace out.